Great. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for coming, and thanks for those listening at home. My name is Sonali Karmarkar. I am a community partner manager here at YouTube Shorts. We're so excited to be with you here today in celebration of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Woo! And here with me today, we have 4 incredible panelists from our Shorts creator community who are going to share a little bit about their story on Shorts, as well as their experience in our creator community. And a little bit about our Shorts creator community. Our team focuses on growing our community of vibrant and diverse creators through programming such as weekly community sessions, in-person events such as this one, and more, really aimed at helping our Shorts creators grow and foster connection with one another. So we're so excited to have all of you today, and without further ado, let me introduce our amazing panelists. No, feel free to clap. Feel free to clap. So closest to me, first we have Hassan Kader. Hassan is a comedian and content creator who has gained 1.6 million subscribers over this last year after nearly a decade on YouTube. He is known for hosting the Bad Days podcast and being the satirical voice of Mickey Mouse across the internet. And then we have Jojo. Jojo has been doing content for the last 4 years. His content includes everything from making pranks to challenges to endless science experiments. And then next to him, we have Christy X. Christy X is a beauty content creator on YouTube Shorts who focuses on enhancing natural beauty while also exploring bold and colorful looks. And last but not least, we have Ramya. Ramya is a data scientist by profession and started her food blog, Eats by Ramya, in 2019. On her platforms, she shares a different perspective on what eating healthy can look like, rooted in the cultural foods she ate growing up. So let's give a round of applause for our incredible panelists.
I just clapped for myself, that literally.
Awesome. So I would love to first hear for all of you to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you started creating on Shorts.
So I've been making videos on the internet for a whole decade. Started on YouTube, and at the root of it was I didn't have a ton of friends, and then there are these amazing creators like Ryan Higa, Kev Jumbo, Wong Fu Production. They're these people that I desperately wanted to be their best pal, but not in a creepy stalker, I want to follow them somewhere. I'm a peer, I'm a YouTuber too. So I tried making videos on the internet, and I was bad, really bad. Please never find those videos. They're somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where, but they exist. They're the worst things that I've ever created, but it got my foot in the door, and I realized, oh my God, I really like making people laugh. I really like comedy, and through that I found another shorter form platform down the road because it was easier, because I didn't have to edit, because editing was really hard back in the day. Movie Maker, just not fun to use, not really intuitive, but found that platform, and then when Shorts was announced, I knew I had to make my way back home to YouTube because this has always been the platform for creators, so it felt really important to be a part of that, and the rest of the story is here. It changed my entire life.
Love to hear that.
Hey guys, so my name's Jojo. I've been doing content, as she said, for the past 4 years. I originally started from long-form YouTube content. I started with my best friends from high school. We were messing around in my friend's room doing a bunch of challenges, but it ended up taking off and doing super well. We grew over 3 million subs on YouTube, and then I was like, shoot, I gotta figure out what I wanna do. So I started kind of transitioning into my type of content, long form still at the time, and I grew my YouTube channel to 350K subs, but I still wanted to do something more than that. I wanted to do short form content. As TikTok came around, I definitely put my hands full on there, and I grew my YouTube to over 4.6 million subs now, doing YouTube Shorts, which has been such an incredible journey. And that's kind of where I started, but the inspiration that I got all this from was watching YouTube when I was younger. I used to watch like Ryan Higa, as you mentioned. I used to watch like Timothy Delgado, just like Asian creators, and it was so inspiring to see them. And I'm like, oh, like I could do the same thing. Like that's so cool that they get to do it, and now I get to do it. So it's like a blessing to be here. It's so awesome, and like it's kind of nervous. Like I'm definitely nervous. It's so much easier being in front of a camera with no one there. But this is cool. This is awesome. And now the type of videos that I do is challenges, pranks, science experiments, and things like that.
Awesome.
I'll be honest. Oh, am I? Okay. I'll be honest, I'm pretty nervous right now, but my name is Christy, and I make beauty content. But when I was younger, I'm sure most of you heard about Michelle Phan, like she's the OG, and Bubs Beauty. So I really like grew up on that, and when I first started making videos, like I was just in my room, like taking a camera that my mom gave me, you know, those like old school digital camera, and I would send videos back to my mom. So we're far away. She was in Hong Kong at the time. So that would be a way of communication, and I always want to upload it on YouTube, but I never had the guts to. And YouTube Shorts created a different platform for me just because you can, you know, connect with your viewers so much more intimately in a sense and be way more authentic. And that's why I'm here. And I'm not only making beauty video, but also making beauty videos that, you know, inspire you to be just who you are. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ramya, and I would say when I first started, I didn't really set out to be a content creator. It was more of just like a documentation in a certain part of my life, and the part of my life I was trying to capture is after my freshman year of college, where I was like eating pizza and Taco Bell like 1 a.m. and like not eating much nutritious food. I definitely like experienced the freshman 15 like many people do. And during that period, I didn't really feel my best in terms of like health. So getting out of that in 2019, I just wanted to get back to healthy eating and exercise and fitness. But one thing that I felt like was really missing was when I would Google like healthy recipes, I would just see a bunch of salads or power bowls, foods that I don't really eat growing up. So it's really hard to eat now because like I eat rice at home, and that's just like how we eat at home. So kind of like reflecting on how that is what our parents ate growing up, and that's what our ancestors ate growing up, and they were perfectly healthy. Like my parents are really healthy. So my whole platform, the reason I started it is because I wanted to create a space where I could spotlight these like Indian foods, Asian foods, foods that are rooted in like similar to what I ate growing up, but showcase like how healthy they can be, because I think like the Indian curries that people eat at restaurants are completely different from what we eat at home. There's like, I'm South Indian, we don't put any cream or dairy. Our food is like inherently vegan food. So I try to like really showcase that in my recipes.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for all sharing. And I think that really showcases how different each of your stories are and the opportunity that you found uniquely in your niche and in your lifestyle to really grow your platform. So thinking more about YouTube Shorts, would love to hear more insight into what has worked well for all of you on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, so I lucked out when I was starting YouTube Shorts. I'd been on other platforms, so I had an archive of like close to 1,000 videos just ready to be uploaded onto a new platform. So I found a posting cadence that was comfortable for me. At the start of it, it was about 8 a day, and I rode that wave for a while, and eventually the algorithm swung my way, and I got to enjoy a great boost in subscribers, and eventually that lowered, so I got to find a new posting cadence, a little bit more comfortable, less speedy, meteoric growth, but a lot of consistency that makes it all a good bit more manageable, but just finding what works best, stripping down the content from this really, really high quality, entertaining piece of content to just to lower the quality to still not lose the entertainment value of it, right? So you can make more of it, because we live in a content creation world that leans more quantity than quality, but just trying to find that happy medium to give both. So that took me a long time to find it, but I have it, and that's a lot of what I do, as well as experimentation. It's the short form content world is entirely different than the long form world. You could make a video that is not in your niche whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. I do these weird Mickey Mouse impression videos, and the other day I threw up a comedy video that had nothing to do with anything like that, and it did better than any Mickey video has done in a month. So it's just playing around with it, because short form content gives you this avenue to be seen by millions and millions and millions more eyes than would see your normal content traditionally. So playing around with that a lot and starting new projects. So
Hassan has said it probably perfectly. Yeah, I would say my strategy is I post right in the very beginning when YouTube has announced that they're doing a YouTube Shorts program. I was like, oh shoot, I gotta take this opportunity. Like, this is the time that I really wanna grow my YouTube channel. So I was posting around 5 to 10 videos every day for like 3 or 4 months. I had a huge content library. I was doing content before. So I just was posting as much as I can, coming up with the best titles, and I was also doing thumbnails according to the videos. And it was a lot of trial and error, like seeing if this title does better, so I would repost it in a different title. There's like a lot of different ways. It's a lot of just, you gotta keep going, trial and error, and just do it. Like, that's like the best way to explain it.
And for me, at first, I think one of my first video was a longer video. And when I first posted it, like for weeks, I would just keep on checking in, and I'm like, oh, I have like 6 views after like an entire week. So I was like really discouraged at first. And then I realized that long form videos was not as fitting to my lifestyle. I think for some people, the easy editing access to, you know, using your phone to film, edit, and everything, it just fits in your lifestyle. I think one of the things that's most important is to be comfortable. Just fit your lifestyle into your content. You can film anything when it comes to shorts. It doesn't have to be a high production. And what I do is that I also do mass upload. For example, for beauty content, when you do a mass upload, there's this one video that would go viral, and then people would click into your profile and obviously, you know, view your profile and look at all the other videos that you have done. So it's really good to do mass upload, and also never ever like give up on content creating, even if you get like 6 views in the first week. That's what I think.
For me, when the first video that I ever uploaded to YouTube was probably when I was like 13. I wrote a song with my sister that was really bad. But it has 100 views, and all 100 were probably me and my parents. So I think at that point, I was like, yeah, no one really cares about me or my singing. And I sort of just didn't like get back to it. And then around 2019, like I mentioned, I got back into creating content, like pictures, just like plain pictures, no videos. Because back then it wasn't really a thing, like short form content wasn't as popular. And over like the last 3 years, I've been able to increase my following to about like 500K on my other platforms. So then my general goal is every year I try to do something different for like my content creation business. So this year I was like, I'm gonna get into YouTube, that's gonna be a thing again. And I think for me, the reason that I really like shorts is like the lower barrier for entry, because there's so many people on YouTube and so many like really, really great creators who have a lot of followers, and I sort of started from like 0. So I just felt like YouTube Shorts was like a really great like low barrier for entry. If you mess up, it's fine. Like, you just keep posting and it eventually works out. If it works out on other platforms, it'll also work out. And it just helps to like experiment with different things. Like Hassan was saying, you can really experiment with a lot of different things on short form, as opposed to like spending like 5 hours editing a YouTube video that doesn't do well.
Definitely. And I think here, really, it's consistency is key. And just get started. As everyone said, experiment, trial and error. And I think also it's so interesting to hear how each of you have fit creating shorts into your lifestyle, and how can you create content that really is not only authentic to you, but fits into your schedule, into what you can commit to and stay consistent with. And I think that's the greatest thing about shorts that you all touched upon too. It's the lower barrier to entry. It's you can really kind of adapt the content to best fit your needs and your goals. So thinking more about your lifestyle as a creator, could you all tell us, what does a day in your life look like, balancing creating shorts and everything else?
Chaos. It's just an absolute hot mess 24/7. At least I'm just over a year into this, and early on it really was like I'd get super ahead. I'd have all the videos filmed for like 2 weeks, and then that 2 weeks is up and I filmed nothing in that time. So now I'm filming like hour to hour, like I gotta get this content out. But I decided recently that it was time to invest in it. So taking what I've made from shorts, hiring out a team. So I have 2 people that started this last week that are currently doing all the work for me so I can just focus up and be present in the moment. And it's the first time in a year that I've been able to do that and to really craft a schedule that, you know, has content creation in the mix, right? Daily, whatever it is to keep me in my rhythm, but also has time for things like therapy at least once a week, a workout once a day, making sure I get outside. Like outside time is great. It's not just for dogs. Like you desperately need to like breathe air and exist not into a studio, because content creation can be a really, really lonely thing. I was a realtor for years and I got to be around coworkers and whatnot. And before then I was in high school and I was around people all the time. And now I'm in a bedroom around myself. It's a lot. It's not fun, but finding a happy medium to make sure you get out and exist and really focused on mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think that goes hand in hand with content creators in a way that people don't discuss super often. It sometimes is a very lonely field to be in. So finding ways to balance that out and constantly scaling to where you're at. So if you are in a position that you could hire somebody, do it, because it'll really help your flow and make you more creative. I think I've been funnier and more engaging and more creative than I've been in months and months and months, because I'm not having to title every video and schedule them out, because I hate that. It's not my thing.
My day-to-day is pretty chaotic as well. I try to wake up around 8 to 9 a.m. every day. I always prioritize, as soon as I wake up, scheduling my videos for YouTube Shorts. Around 2 to 3 is the amount that I post every day now on YouTube Shorts. And then after, I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta film. So I always try to make that a priority to film every day. It gets a little hard because, you know, you gotta balance your life, like he has mentioned. Like, mental health is super important, and you gotta work out, you gotta go hang out with your friends, family, live your life, but there's also work, you know? So you gotta make sure you find the balance in both. But yeah, I try to film every day. The weekends, I would say, is where I take it a little bit more easier. But the one thing that does help me kind of overcome all these challenges and managing time is having an assistant. Definitely helps me like schedule out my day a little bit more, picking up items that I need for the videos, just things like that. It definitely helps. I would say that's what my day-to-day looks like for the most part. And I also do have like film projects that I try to incorporate in my content as well, such as like, oh, like let's hire like a magician Friday or something. We could make some cool content with, or like let's rent a Lambo. So I always try to incorporate those things because those are, I think, key metrics to making a viral video and things like that.
So I just left my job around my full-time job. I used to be a corporate lady. Like, don't look at me dressing like this. I used to be in like, you know, my dress pants all the time. And it was the reason why I left was because it's too stressful. But I was not able to adjust to that. So when I first started just being full-time content creator, I set myself a 9-to-5 schedule, just like how a normal day of working would be. And I realized how non-sustainable that would be, because you're forcing yourself. When you're forcing yourself, you cannot create content. And I actually started to just, wherever I go, like if I go eat, like I film the food. It doesn't have to be, although I am mainly focused on beauty content creating, but I also show like around New York and things like that. And I wouldn't say my schedule would be scattered. I do plan out maybe like majority of the days to focus on beauty content and really just sit there and just make my videos. But and then there are some hours to obviously reply to emails, you know, reading contracts and things like that. But you know, when you have more to do, like for example, attending an event, doing photo shoot, and it's completely different and you have to adjust to that, make yourself comfortable. Like I said, you know, like they said, Mental Awareness Month, right? I think that's one thing that's super important, like being comfortable with yourself and your environment and your job environment, making it so, don't make it like a toxic environment for yourself, and just bubble yourself into, oh, I gotta work and sit here from this time to that time. Like, be flexible with yourself and take care of yourself.
So for me, I actually just graduated on Sunday. I graduated college on Sunday. And so my schedule was kind of different until like a week ago. So I'll tell you guys how it used to be, because I'm still settling into like the new normal. But I was a full-time college student and I studied computer science, which is a little bit of like a stressful major. And I also am a head of marketing at a startup that I work with, and I've been doing content creating. So I'm not a full-time content creator right now. And for me, what works best is to like really schedule everything in, because otherwise things just get way too crazy, or like I'll say I'll do it and then I won't do it. And on these platforms, like consistency is key. You gotta train the algorithm. So my days are usually like very structured. I typically, when I was in college, I used to study for like a bulk of the time. I'd say like I'd go to classes until like 2, 3, and then I would try to create content from 3 to 4. And the way that it works with like food is you can't really like, even like a 30-second short takes an hour and a half to film, because the recipe takes an hour and a half to make, and then you had to like edit it down to 30 seconds. So making those types of videos takes a little bit longer, so I only usually do 1 or 2 a day because it's really exhausting otherwise. And I try to do all of that on one day. So once I start my full-time job, I actually have Fridays off. It's a 4-day work week, so I'm gonna just do like batch create on Fridays, and then that's just what works best for me. That way the rest of the week I can spend editing, working on my startup, and just like focusing on other things. And I'd say that's like my schedule. I don't have like a daily schedule. It's more of like a weekly rotation.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the key here, like being flexible with yourself, as you all mentioned, and really figuring out how can you create a schedule to create content, be creative, while also taking into account mental health. I love that so many of you brought that up, because that's so important. And when you need a break, take a break. You'll be more creative at the end of it. And it was so interesting hearing how different everyone's day-to-day looks like. So back to our Shorts creator community, I would love to hear from all of you. How has your experience been being a part of our Shorts creator community?
Absolutely amazing. I mean, I went from a solo content creator, primarily just making stuff on my own, meeting people every now and then, but not really, to every single week I'm on a Google Meet meeting 30 new creators. And a lot of those creators went from just names that I saw in a Google Meet. I went to LA recently and I got to meet a lot of them in person at a Shorts creator event. And some of them cemented into like real lifetime friendships that have made such a huge impact on me as a creator, me as a person. And I think that it is one of the most robust, well put together social scenes in all of content creation across all platforms. I don't know of anybody doing something so like impactful to the creator, to the individual, to get to meet people just like you in your career, help you feel a little bit less lonely, and bounce off ideas in a way that you can't necessarily bounce off ideas to your average everyday person, because it'd be weird. It's like, hey, what do you think about this video? I don't know, I'd watch it. Like, I don't know, how do you expect me to answer that? So it really, really changed the narrative. I met a couple of like my best friends in the entire world through the Shorts creator community. So.
For me, I was able to meet a lot of people as well. It's beautiful to see everyone in the same community. I was able to meet him, all these people here, as well as you guys, and it's so awesome. And it also opened up a lot of doors and opportunities. For example, I was able to get a brand deal through YouTube Shorts, and that has created endless amount of opportunities just for itself. Like, I was able to fund my assistant, make better content, and it just helps with so many other things. And this community, I believe, is going to get stronger and stronger and better. So.
And for me, I don't know if anybody else does beauty here, but most of the time you're looking at your makeup, your camera, your mirror, and when you look at your mirror and your camera, it's just yourself. So all the time I'm just like facing like four walls, and it feels so different that like sometimes you can feel very absolutely lonely. And it feels so different that at least having the community, you have people that you can talk to. There are people that are doing content creation as well that you can get advice from, and also our community manager. Anytime we have a question, we can reach out. We can ask how do I do this? How can I get the system work? So you're not like emailing the corporate, but also you have somebody, a point of contact that you can talk to. So it feels very comfortable in that way that I actually, especially meeting them in person, and the first thing I say, oh, you guys are not just an email, or email address. You guys are real life people. So it feels really warm and it feels like home.
Yeah, and for me, I actually joined the Shorts community. I joined it about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I would say for me, as I was saying before, I was I'm really new to YouTube Shorts, so coming into it, I was I don't really know what works over here because every platform's its own thing, and everyone, the users are different. So I knew that things would have to be a little bit different on YouTube Shorts, so it was really nice for me to have someone to ask these questions to, oh, do you think this sort of content will do good? Should I be putting music behind my video? How do I put text? And I would say my favorite part about the community is the emails from Sonali every week where she goes, this is gonna be trending this week, make videos on this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. For me, that's really helpful because I feel that's something that other platforms for me have kind of lacked. And it's been really helpful to just see the email, and at the bottom of the email, it'll say you can submit your videos for these events, and I just like it. I like having that over there, some sort of guidance.
I love to hear that, and that the emails are useful. We love to hear the emails are useful. No, but really, it's so heartwarming hearing all of your stories and your experiences in our Shorts community. And that's really what we strive to do, is foster connection, make creating content a little less lonely, because I think together all of you can grow in a more sustainable and enjoyable way on Shorts. So wrapping up, the last question to leave everyone with, what is one piece of advice you would like to leave creators with?
I think the core of all creation and the staying power that some YouTubers have had for over a decade and a half now through the lifespan of internet videos has been consistency. Consistency is such an important thing, but it's also finding a cadence that's comfortable for you, a rhythm that makes sense for you to make videos, not following what everybody else is doing. If I was doing 8 to 10 videos like JoJo was, early on, still now a year later, I'd be dead. That just wouldn't work out for me. So finding a cadence that works really well for you, and then my motto in life, I have a podcast it's called Bad Days. It's about how your bad days are your best stories. So taking that every negative thing, everything that is kind of that's not the best thing. Just know you're going to be laughing about it in a week at a bar with a bunch of friends, and that's going to be your moment. Or making a video about it that gets 1 million views and makes 1 million people smile or laugh or send to their friends to help them. So consistency, and then just making sure you're keeping yourself up, and that the bad things happen, they're the best things that'll ever happen to you.
My piece of advice, there's so many different advices that I could give. So it's hard to say oh, that one advice is gonna for sure work. But I would say just don't give up. It gets really hard throughout the journey of making content. There's ups and downs. Not every video that you think is gonna do well is gonna do well. I've had that happen to me so many times, that video is gonna go viral, 10 million views, and it ends up flopping. So it's a part of the process. And I would say literally trial and error is your best friend. It's a part of the journey to be a content creator.
And I think most important is to be authentic to yourself. And I feel when you're aiming for, oh, I want to get viral, that's, sometimes you kind of force it out, right? But when you're happy and when you're having positive vibes, that's when your content comes out in a happy vibe that people would relate to and would be happy watching. I think that's the most important thing. And also never give up. Like I said, I started off I just keep clicking back, and I'm am I getting more views yet? And I just never got that. But never give up. Keep on posting. Keep on making content. And I think that's the most important key.
I would say my advice would be don't worry about the people who don't get what you're doing, because there are going to be those people, and especially I felt it in the Asian community, because it's hard it's hard for our parents to get sometimes what they haven't seen, and they've been in very traditional routes. So for me, something that I faced was I just wasn't able to get people to see why I do what I do. And trust me, if you just keep doing it and if you're successful, they'll come back and they'll tell you you did a great job, and they don't get any of the credit.
Definitely. Well, what an inspiring way to leave us off. Thank you so much to our incredible panelists. And thank you so much for everyone who's here. We're so excited to continue hosting events like this in our Shorts creator community. And thanks for everyone watching at home. It's been such a pleasure to have our amazing creators here and to be able to share their stories. So thank you.